1,000 videos to help you learn. Yesterday, I was working on some stuff. I went back through the 6 Phases handbook, and I'm trying to work on some more advanced curriculum for these barbers that are out here thinking that they don't need nothing. Now, it can be so easy to get complacent at your shop doing Joe's haircut every other Tuesday the exact same way. And one thing that I think a lot of people underestimate is how boring this business can get if you're not careful. If you are not seeking out ways to challenge yourself, then you're just putting hair on the floor, you're just breathing air in the room, and you're just kind of like living your life between the lines, right? If you're living your life on a Sunday and Monday because those are the days you have off, then maybe you're just not challenging yourself enough at work. And one of the ways that you can do that is through joining going to a show, or just getting some education, or just getting around some people who push you. I will tell you this, and it's exactly like my grandmother growing up, she always said, if you walk with a cripple, you start to limp. I never forgot what she said, and maybe I didn't understand it then, but the truth is, if the people that we keep around us are not really helping you grow, and actually they're probably taking you down, they're going to wind up taking you down with them. And at the end of the day, like if you're working at a shop with people who are like really pumped up to go to the shows, really excited to go and do all these things, these are the people you need to be around. These are the people you want to spend your time with, and it's going to be amazing how much you wind up growing. What up, Indonesia? He said, do you have any more information, M. Dot? I don't know what you're asking for. Good morning, Nana. She's in the house. So I was rewriting a video, and I actually came across an old video that's getting a lot of momentum, where I really went through every single step that I like to go through in the 6 phases, and just kind of figuring out exactly where students have went wrong over the years. I have taught literally like hundreds of classes, and I've seen a lot of people rise and fall within the classes, but I have never really seen anybody struggle at the end of one of my classes. I got to be honest. I never really see people failing too often in the classes. People who expose themselves to these ideas and expose themselves to new education and new techniques, a couple of things happens for them. One, when they go back to the shop, they're not bored. They feel rejuvenated. They're ready to go. They're looking at like Monday to them is a Friday, all right? They're ready to go. It's ready for the weekend. They're not living their life between Sunday and Monday, the days that they have off. They're not living their life between the little bit of free time that they got. This job is not a factory. Those of you guys who are lucky enough to do barbering, cosmetology, or really any kind of service work like this is not a 9 to 5. This is not a factory. This is not something that you just punch in, punch out, and kind of like zone out the entire day. Like, if you find ways to make this creative, make this fun, make this entertaining, you're going to have the world in your palms. You're going to have a lot of things that are going to just happen for you. You're going to meet people that do all kinds of different things that are going to help you in your life. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today was I'm going to Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Fort Worth Barber Supply, and I'm doing a different style of curriculum, one that has never been done before, not by me, and I don't think by anybody else. I'm going to be doing the work of like several different people at this show, and it's going to be fun. It's technically a class, but I'm sort of looking at it a little bit like a class show. All right. So what I mean by that is, what we're going to try to do here is we're going to do some segments that are really entertaining, and it's going to change every 20 minutes. And you guys are going to see what all the segments are, and we're going to burn through all of these segments. Like one of these that's kind of got me curious about potentially opening a second shop. So think about this. I do my taxes. I look at my taxes, and I see the income and the way that everything worked out last year. And I sort of realized, like, hey, starting another shop would actually be a huge advantage to me. And we're going to break down some of this business stuff in these classes, and when is the right time for you guys to start a shop, when is the right time for you guys to go off on your own, maybe do a suite, when is the right time to do all these things. By the way, I do think barber suites, personally, and correct me if you feel like I'm wrong, I think a barber suite is just a bad idea. Personally, having been through making a shop successful and just seeing how that has all worked, let's say you do the greatest salon suite in the world and you got a booking a mile long and you're getting good money for the haircuts. No matter how you escape it, you got one problem. You got a couple problems actually, but one problem that you have is when you're not there, it can't make you money. And a bigger problem is when you sell it, it has no value. And at the end of the day, somebody else is going to wind up going into that salon suite and making it theirs. The advantage I could see, you're able to control the atmosphere. You're able to potentially go and control what you do on YouTube and the audio and all the other stuff. So like for that, I see the advantages, but I do think salon suites are probably, for the most part, a losing proposition for somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit. Now, on the other hand, if you just like to cut hair and it's your passion and you're just gonna, kind of do that, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's some of the stuff that we're gonna discuss in the classroom. But like a lot of you guys are wondering like, hey man, I've gotten comments like this. Hey man, I work at this barbershop. It's super slow. I'm thinking of going somewhere else. Any tips for me? And the answer to that would be a couple things. One, if you're not in an environment of growth, if there are factors that are beyond your control that you feel like are stifling your growth, that's one thing. But all in all, jumping from shop to shop is not going to hurt the shop owner at all. It's going to hurt you because you've never really established your own personal clientele. Let's say you go to a shop that's super busy and you're busy right away as a byproduct. Well, that's great, but you didn't really earn those customers and they're not really your customers. They're not requesting you. They're just going there because you're there. Now, this might be an opportunity for you to grow a little quicker, but at the end of the day, when you get your own clientele, when you earn it with your own blood, sweat, and tears, and the ways that we're gonna talk about in that classroom with Fort Worth on how to do that are gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna break down all kinds of different little tricky stuff that you probably never even thought about doing, and we're gonna help you to get your clientele. But once you do that, that should really only take a person who's serious about it about a year and a half. You circumvented college. You're making more money than anybody coming out of college. If you have a little bit of drive, you are able to make more money than a guy who went to college for 4 years and got out with a liberal arts degree that he can't do nothing with. Now, you went to school for less than 1 year, so the trade-off is it's going to take you another year to grow your clientele, and now you're going to be way ahead of the game. So this is really like a 2-year plan when you go to barber school. Desmond Mitchell said, "What's up, Eddie? Are you going to do a T45 clipper review?" I'm going to be the last person to get them. Like, to be honest, like I'm not going to say I'm surprised by this. Me and Babyliss don't really got the greatest of relationships, but I didn't plan on doing anything like, I was going to do the review on that. But like at this point, like I'm almost sitting back like, what's the point? What's the point of me doing this great elaborate review? There's 1,000 of them out there. I know that you probably think if I do the review, it's going to be negative or something, but I'm not really into that. Like, I just try to tell people what I think about the products, and it is what it is. So as you could sense, I'm a little bit agitated by it because I could have had the review done completely, and there's a million other guys out there who currently have the clipper, have the trimmer, and they're doing it. But at the end of the day, I don't really control, who sends me what. If they send it to me, I still might do it. So when we really get right down to it, one of the great ways to help build your business, and I'll just give you guys a couple little quick tips. These are just like the hyphenated versions, but one of the great ways to grow your business, I personally believe, it's giving free haircuts. Not a discount. Don't ever cheapen your service. Don't give a discount. Go and find people and give them free haircuts. There's a couple of things that are going to happen. One, I can't tell you how many times I've done a free haircut and they paid anyways. Maybe it came in the form of a tip that was the same cost as the actual, service itself. But two, you're going to kind of invoke a bit of a principle of reciprocity where this person's going to feel slightly obligated to reciprocate towards you. So one of the reasons why you give this free haircut is a few things, man. You're going to be able to take photos with this. You're going to be able to take your time and give them the best haircut they ever had, and you're going to get a client out of it. I mean, there's so much good that's going to happen for you when you do this. But if you discount your service every single time, they'll be like, man, last time you charged me 30, why 35? It cheapens you. It cheapens your service. It makes it seem like it isn't worth much. But when you just do it for free, and then, normally they're walking out, they're like, how much does a haircut normally cost? You're like, well, it's normally 35, man, and here's my card, and I'd love to have you come back and book with me again. Mining your own current customer base. Your customers don't think about you when you leave when they leave the shop. They're there because they need their haircut. They get their haircut, they get problem solved, they leave, they don't think about you. So all you have to do is literally ask them when they sit down in your chair, hey, do you or anybody can you send anybody my way? I would really appreciate it. And you know what? If you send them my way, if they mention your name, it'll be free. First time will be free. So there's no risk to them. They can come and they can join you. He said, Desmond said, I wanted to hear your thoughts. I know you ream babblers, but your thoughts regardless. I appreciate you, man. I think you meant, I know you're not on Team Babblers, but the thing about it is everybody does some stuff good, man. Everybody does some stuff good. Everybody does some stuff not the greatest. And I think we're going to be splitting hairs as the years go on and the technology that we put in the machine continues to advance and the things that we continue to do make our lives easier. It's really going to boil down to some personal preferences. And one of the things that really makes me want to support Stylecraft even more is a phone call that we got on yesterday. Now, this is between Stylecraft and my Booked In sponsorship. They're my booking app. But what they've both committed to was a good amount of money to go and start giving away barber tuitions for people in need. Now, we've been talking about this for a while, and I can't tell you exactly what the date is because the whole thing is a surprise, but we're just going to say there is a date for this, and we are on schedule to make this happen. So I'm pretty excited, to be honest, about redoing this video. Last time I helped, I had some help. People did donate, but I also used my own money too, and we paid off a barber tuition for somebody in need. But I go back, I look at that edit, and I'm like, oh my God, I could do so much better. So let's see here. He says, what's the best babeless trimmer for cutting, not lines? Well, trimmers are meant for making lines. Maybe you mean clipper. And in that case, I don't know. Maybe the low pro is the shape I like, but it's still, it's comfortable for most people. But like I've gotten used to, and I don't want to knock the low pro at all. I've gotten used to smaller clippers, and even the low pro to me is a larger clipper. Yo, you got to stop for that Chick-fil-A when you see it. You know what I mean? They're not open on Sunday, so we're out here. Got to eat real quick before the shop. I gave away my lunch. My lunch break is gone. So I seen this, and I'm like, you know what? I might just have to stop here. Oh, no, they got a long line. Never mind. I was gonna. But, no, anyways, I just, when you get right down to it, I just kind of got used to using the smaller clippers. And right now, I'm currently using the 360 GZ the most. And I'll be honest, when I first got it, I still thought maybe I'd continue using the Saber. And that I love the Saber. And the Saber's a great clipper, don't get me wrong. But there is something about that Instinct motor that just seems to make everything super easy. And it might be one of the first times I kind of feel like I don't really necessarily need two clippers. I do a lot of haircuts with that entirely. Maybe I pick up a clipper and take a couple swipes with it out of habit. That's a possibility that I might be doing that. But for the most part, I am probably able to do 90% of the haircut with the 360 GZ clipper. So, He said, I'm one of those guys who can't grow a beard. Pray for me. How long does my haircuts take? I'm not a fast barber, guys. There was a time where my average haircut time would be like 11 minutes. I'll move you guys a little bit because this view's a little funky. There was a time where my average haircut time was 11 minutes, and that time was in 2003 when I worked at Supercuts in Niagara Falls, and we were supposed to keep our haircut times as low as possible, and we were graded on how low we kept them, and everything was calculated at the end of the day. Jesus, that thing is shaking. It's driving me crazy. Everything was calculated. Sorry, guys, lost you there for a second. So we didn't have a problem doing these haircuts, but these haircuts were not good. And I really think that in general, about 35 minutes is pretty good for a fade. And anything, beyond that, it's okay. It takes the time it takes, man. There's clients that walk in, take me 45 minutes. There's other clients that walk in, take me 20 minutes. One of the guys that I'm meeting here at the shop, all you guys think that you need to do fade. I'm going to tell you guys something too. Like when it comes to business, the fade is not really your friend, guys. I have a gentleman who is he's not rich, he's wealthy. There's a difference. This guy is sitting at the shop right now, waiting for me to get there, and his haircut takes me 5 minutes. It's easy as hell. He's never complained one time, and I love spending time with this guy, and really, he pays me more than most of the people who get skin fades. I got a lot of seniors like this. I can do a senior citizen haircut, and we live in Naples, Florida, so there's a lot of senior citizens here, but we can do these senior haircuts, these older guys, or these regular guys' haircuts, in very short timing. So at the end of the day, if you're worried about your timing, just think of it like this. It's kind of a wash, man. You got some guys who are going to be quick. You got some guys who are going to take you a while. And that's just the rub of it, man. And it don't make it wrong that if you spend a little extra time on somebody. But, you guys ever have a client that really drives you crazy, makes you do all this extra stuff all the time, complains a lot, shows up late, all of the above, right? Sometimes that person who does all those things, double tap the middle of the screen if you guys are enjoying the live. We've had a lot of you guys in here the whole drive to work. But a lot of times these people who complain and cause all these issues, they're the same people who don't pay that well. And if they cause you to run behind constantly because they're late or because they're finicky or because some people just don't know what they want. They come to the barbershop expecting you to figure it out for them, but they really don't know what they want. And, that's not up to you sometimes to decide. You can help them, but at the end of the day, if you have a customer who's costing you more money than he's making you, that person's got to go. And this is something that took me a little while to learn. I don't really have anybody on my schedule ever who gives me a hard time. There's not a single customer that I can think of that gives me a hard time. And, it took me a while to kind of realize that there might be some situations where it's just not worth having that client. And, sometimes firing that client might be a little awkward for you, but at the end of the day, you could just tell the customer straight up, listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I really kind of feel like I've spent more money than I've made working on you, and it's just not me. I just feel like I can't get this right for you, so I just want to recommend that you go to somebody else. I'm not going to cut your hair anymore. And if they balk, this is what you do. You say it with a downward inflection. I'm done cutting your hair now. That's it. You don't need to reason with them. You don't need to provide any more explanations. It is what it is. And you got these other customers that are great. A lot of them will pay you 3 times what you ask. They won't complain about nothing. The haircut will be much easier. And, that's the beauty of this business. But in the beginning, you can't really afford to be picky. If it grows hair, you should cut it. If somebody walks in and their kids, I know barbers who are like, I don't cut kids' hair. No, not me. Even though you're not booked, you're broke as fuck, and you got nothing and no one on your schedule, I don't cut kids' hair. Okay. Oh, I don't like that guy. He's weird. I don't cut his hair. Oh, I don't talk to that guy. If you're doing that and you haven't ever built your clientele, I'm sorry, dude. You're not very smart. At the end of the day, you got to do this stuff you got to make those sacrifices. You got to cut all these people to go through this. And then once you build your clientele, you can do whatever you want. But guess what you make at the end of the day if you don't cut no hair? You make nothing. This is not working at CVS. It's not working at First Watch or any of these other places. This is a commission or rental-based company. Wow, this guy kind of distracted me. Look, I think he's flipping me off, y'all. Anthony says, I take time in all my haircuts now. I worked at Sport Clips and Great Clips, and all they care about productivity, not quality. I don't even think he's necessarily realizing that he's flipping people off, but he is flipping people the bird, and I lost my entire train of thought. But what I was going to say actually is, at the end of the day, if you don't cut hair at the barbershop, you leave with absolutely nothing. There is no safety net in this business, and that's why we're here, because the upside to that safety net is good, if not better, than the downside. The downside, we walk away with nothing. The upside, we work hard, and we walk away with 10 times what we could have earned working at Target or Macy's or JCPenney's or whatever other little job that you could get. And I'm just a guy with a high school education. That's all I ever got. Figuring this out on your own is easier now than ever. Because of all the internet stuff, YouTube, research, you can use so many different resources. So at the end of the day, like, if you're not growing, if you're not learning, if you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, why do you think we go to these shows, guys? It's a big expense to a lot of people to visit shows and go to education. But a lot of times, I'm not necessarily there because I feel like I need to learn something. I'm there because I want to be around the people who are there. I want to be inspired. I want to be rejuvenated. I want to come back to the shop excited to work. I want to be happy when I go to work. And, you know, at the same time, like, if that's the grind that you got, how can you fail? You just can't fail when you have an attitude like that. At the end of the day, people feel how you, what you're projecting, what you're putting out. When people walk in the shop, they can feel it. If you had a fight with your girl and you brought it to work, people could feel it. When you're being quiet, people could feel it. When you're being rude, people could feel it. When you're being genuine, you smile, you're happy, you go to work, you always got a good smile on your face and a kind word on your lips, people can feel it. Oh, look at this clown. See ya, bitch. Yeah, well, the thing is, we live in Florida, and actually we got a cold day, but it's very sunny here. So that would be the reason we use sunglasses. But at the end of the day, I promised I wasn't going to swipe down no more at some of these people who come in saying all this stuff. But at the end of the day, this is actually the first, like, cool day we've had in a while. It's been, like, around 85 degrees, like, every day. And currently driving to work right now, it's 54 degrees, and it feels awesome. So, anyways, if you guys go to work today, I hope that you guys feel inspired. I hope that you guys feel reinvigorated. I hope that some of you guys can join me if you're in the Oklahoma City area. If you're watching this after it's been recorded, drop a comment. Let me know you're going to join me. This is going to be a crash out. That's what we're calling this. This is a crash out. It's not just a class. It's kind of something in between a class and a show. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's definitely going to be a topic of interest for you. So this is going on. I think I got about 2 to 3 weeks before we fly out, and I will be posting it on my community wall. I'll post it on the thumbnail to this video, and I'll also pin it in the comments here. We might be going live a little bit later here on a haircut that's coming into the shop. If I got time, maybe we'll do like another one of those PLV lives. You guys seem to really like that. We wind up getting a lot of traction on those lives there. So if I got the time, that's my plan today. And I also plan to get a little creative. I got a couple other things cooking here. Y'all see the one wheel in the back, and we got the laptop bag that stays with us always. Now, a lot of people don't realize how hard doing all this YouTube stuff is at a high level. Like, it means you're constantly gonna be walking around with a bag that weighs 50 pounds. You're constantly driving yourself crazy looking at the view counts. You're constantly gonna be looking at your analytics and all this other stuff. And we are, at the end of the day, held to some standard that we can't even understand with the algorithm. So I just kind of come to the realization that I'm going to do the stuff that I want to do. I'm going to do the stuff that makes me happy, that I'm passionate about doing. And I'm going to do my best to help everybody, such as paying off barber tuitions for people in need, doing shows, doing classes, doing education, and just continuing to try to post online to help people just like me, who with only a high school education was able to become quite successful and live in one of the most rich places in the whole country, and, you know, just kind of set myself up in a good way. So I hope that I can help you guys also do that. But over 900 videos to help you learn. YouTube Barber Academy. I'm out. Peace.